So we know you're working on Cat-1000 programs. So click on the parts list on the left side, and we want to go grab our sample files. To do that, we'll hit the pull down on part and come to restore. The parts we're looking for are under ME templates, CMM, sample files, and because we're doing Cat-1000, we'll go into the Cat-1000 folder and grab that PI file and say OK and OK. So here are our examples. Now the next thing that we want to work on is we want to do program number 71. So as we were talking before, we realized that program 21 is really the starting point for 31 and 61 and 71 and 81. So why not use that for at least the first couple steps? To use this, we'll start off by copying it from our left parts list to our right parts list. So we highlight it in green and say copy part. To make it your own, we'll double click on it and we'll change the end of the name to your initials. Now, if we look at this in the editor, we find that this is a complete program. I'm going into the production program. Setup is only when you're actually on the CMM. If I collapse everything and scroll to the bottom, we have some parameters. Have a good one, Constantine. At the end of the program that move us to home position, and we don't want to do that in the middle of our program. So I'll just grab these and delete them, and then hit save. So this is now a template that's ready for me to add my stuff, but I have to get it back into learn mode. We made some changes, so to get back where we left off in learn mode, we have to actually start with repeat mode first. When we do repeat mode, we're grabbing the production program. Again, setup is only when you're at the machine. So I'll say OK, and I'll just say OK through all the dialogues. At the very end, it says end of part program, so I go into relearn mode. And now it's as if I started this from the beginning in learn mode, and I never left. So now I'm ready to add my new information to this program. But I don't know what to add, so I'll go back to mCosmos. I'll click on the program that I want to work on today, which is 71, and I'll launch that into the editor. Of course, I always want to work with the production program, so I say OK. And now I'll push this over to the screen on the left, and once it's here, I'll just leave it here. There's no reason to move the editor window. If I click on the M icon at the bottom, I'll click on Learn Mode, and because I'm doing two things now, I'll drag this over to the right window. I can't see my program because I'm trying to do split screen mode here. So to make my program show up, I'll say Window and Split Screen Mode, and then I'll just pull that over. So now I can see my example program versus what I'm doing in Learn Mode. Now what I'm doing in Learn Mode left off on line number 29. So in my editor, I'll scroll down to line number 29, and the last thing I did was, okay, it's 28 over here. It's create origin. So I need to start off with output text. So over here, I'll hit the pull down on output, and I'll do the output text dialog and fill in whatever I see over here. Let's just pretend I filled it in. I don't feel like typing it. The next thing we have is a point. Now this is a measured feature. It says measure CNC point on workpiece. Well, this is supposed to happen in Cat-1000. To launch Cat-1000, I'll go back to Part Manager. And you can see, another nice thing about this template program is it already has the model in Cat-1000. So I'll simply launch Cat-1000. Have a good one, Con. Now, in Cat-1000, I like to have a lot of room to move around, so I'll full screen this. And I'll leave this whole window full screen. And I'll also close out of the CAD element tolerance window just to get a little bit more real estate. So you can see my probe left off right where it would leave off at the end of the automatic alignment. The automatic alignment is when we touch the top plane, the front line, and the left line. The automatic alignment has to happen in every program, and that's why it was helpful to start with the template. In Learn Mode, which is where I'm trying to add new information, I need to add a point, but it's a measured style point. So rather than grabbing it from Learn Mode and just saying point, where I would have to define what this point looks like using this box, I don't want to define it using this box. This requires too much thinking. I have a CAD model over here So I can start a point feature in Cat-1000 by clicking on it, and now it allows me to use the graphics screen to click directly on a point, and it fills in all my XYZ values, also gives me collision detection, and will move out of the way for me. The other nice thing about Cat-1000 is you can run a simulation and you can see if it's going to crash or not before you actually program the point. So that looked like the correct point to me, so I'll say OK. And when I say OK in Cat-1000, it doesn't tell you anything, but it added that command into learn mode. So looking at the editor again, my learn mode here now has the point that edit mode told me to put in there. So I can collapse that. The next thing I want is a distance. So that's under element distance. So I'll start that command. I don't know exactly what should be filled out here, so I'll double click on distance, and I'll compare whatever I have here to whatever I have here. Looks like I want to grab a line type feature. This has auto X, so I'll grab auto X. This wants me to grab a point style feature, so I'll grab a point style feature. It's named 1" 980 overall width. Now I didn't name my point that, so mine's named something different. I think it's just called point. But same idea. This wants to be in the XY plane, XY plane. This wants to be no compensation, no compensation. So I say OK, and that's it. So some things will be put in here through learn mode. Actually, most things will be put in through learn mode, like the distance, the tolerance, the comment line, clearance height. However, anytime you actually measure a feature, you'll switch over to Cat-1000, so you can measure it using the cat model. And that's it. I gotta go grab lunch.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.